Well, Sam Pittman will be next. The Hogs will host Louisiana Tech on Saturday at 3 o'clock Central on SEC Plus and ESPN Plus. And, Coach, while we wait on any questions, if you could please take a moment to comment on your team as you enter this week's game.
Yeah, I think our team's fairly healthy. Excited about the opportunity for senior afternoon on Saturday against Louisiana Tech. Team that's playing extremely well, holding guys to low scores defensively and putting up some points. Last week, obviously, was a hard-fought game against Western Kentucky, who was leading that league, and they were able to win. So we'll have a hot team coming in here, but we're excited to play.
First up, Coach, we have Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Sam, I got to looking at their quarterback Bullock's numbers a little deeper after Monday, and I know they didn't pass it a lot in the last game, but he's got some really nice numbers, good efficiency, and he's 6'5". I wonder what you think specifically about facing him.
Yeah, I think he's grown. He's a redshirt freshman. I think he's really grown as the years continue to move on. He's polished back there. He doesn't play like a young guy. Obviously, he started now. This will be, I think, his 8th start coming in here, and but he's very accurate. Got a strong arm, and they do with him what they need to win. Obviously, last week was more of a running game for him, but very accurate. I tell you, he's got some fantastic receivers, guys. He's got a lot of speed out there, and so we're well aware of him, and he's poised back there, especially for his young age.
Yeah, we were talking to the players last night, and they kind of pointed out how they really wanted to do something for the home fans because it's been a few games since you guys have really shown out for the home fans. I wonder if you're feeling that too. And then is there any pressure involved in winning this game?
I think there's pressure every week, to play good football. I still believe we have a really good football team. And if we play up to our standards, we can play with anybody in the country. They're well aware of what happened at UAB. And we've got to play to a standard that's high for us, and hopefully it'll be good enough to win the game.
Next, we have Wilson Alexander, the Advocate.
Hey, Sam, good morning. Just curious if the House settlement goes through and you have the 105 limit on your roster and the 85 scholarship limit within that, how would that affect your team? It seems like you guys got quite a few players listed on your roster.
Well, I think the first thing is you're going to have to eliminate 15 guys, which none of us, or I don't want to speak for the other coaches, a lot of us didn't want to do. We thought we needed that number. But that's the first thing, which is hard to do because some of these guys' dreams are to play for the University of Arkansas, and so that's just a given. That's going to have to happen. I understand we're going to stay at 85, so you can cut the scholarships up like some other sports have been doing for years. So it's yet to be determined how that will really affect us, but I do know that it's going to affect us as far as two-spotting, some things that we do that we think helps us. I think it's going to take some of that away from us because of wear and tear on the kids, and I think you're going to be very concerned about the limited numbers that we have. We're different than the NFL now. We can't go out and just get a player whenever we lose somebody, and I know their numbers are less than ours, but I think it's going to be something that we're all going to have to decide on how to go about the 105. But part of it will be the helper of that is the ability to cut up scholarships. Certainly, as I said before, I don't believe 105 is enough.
You mentioned kind of wear and tear. Does this end up, at least sort of within the season, maybe having the most effect on who's on your scout team, having to play maybe more scholarship guys there than you might have in the past?
Well, I think it'll just happen. If they are on scholarship and they are not quite ready. You know, I've had two guys that were on scout team for a year that got drafted in the first round when I was the O-line coach. So some guys develop slower than others, some faster than others. Uh, but as you look in the bowl systems right now, I mean, guys that aren't in the playoffs, they're having a hard time fielding a football team. And now you take it down an extra 15 guys. It could be a little dicey at that point.
Thanks, Sam.
Next is Trey Biddy of HawgBeat.com.
Hey, Coach, I was curious about revenue sharing coming to college football, and it looks like the athletic department is going to have about $20.5 million. Have you had any kind of conversations with Hunter Yurachek about like what percentage of that might be allocated to football? And also, how do you manage it, since I guess it takes effect for 25, 26? How do you manage that with the transfer portal at semester and stuff?
Yeah, I think certainly I've had that conversation with Hunter. Well, we have to know, that basically, your collective is going to be in effect until, July, Trey. And then as you're talking about it, I think you would talk about it in totality of what it looks like with your collective and then the revenue sharing. I think you talk more of a year long instead of half and half. At least that's what we're going to choose to do. And then obviously you're going to have to stay within a budget, but there was restrictions on that when you were in collective, before revenue sharing as well, because, it's not monopoly money. You got to have the money. And so I don't know that it's going to be a whole lot different. Ours is certainly going to go up a lot because what we had in our in our collective, we certainly are going to have more money in revenue sharing.
Yeah. You feel like that combined with NIL, in relation, I guess, to your peers, do you feel like you guys are going to have what you need financially to build a championship caliber program next year?
I think we're going to have certainly a lot better chance. And, some people are going to take that as I'm making excuses. I'm not. You asked the question.
Sure.
When you're half the money of your competitors, it makes it very, very difficult to recruit. Yes. Do I think that this will allow us an opportunity to go out and financially recruit with the rest of the teams in the SEC? Absolutely. Were we able to do that in the past 3 years? No.
Thanks, Coach.
Let's squeeze in Bob Holt of the Arkansas Democrat Gazette.
Hey, Sam, you got a big space to squeeze me through it, but I appreciate it.
We'll make room, Bob.
I appreciate it. Hey, you mentioned you guys are pretty healthy. On Monday, you talked about Switzer and Russell and Bridges, I think, were three of the guys. If you give an update on them and if they maybe could the game plan.
Yeah. Bridges is back. Russell is full speed, has been all week, and Switzer is probably doubtful.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Coach, thank you for your time today.
All right, guys. Thank you.